G20 meetings, right? Maybe we've been talking about G20 meetings this whole time. Maybe you guys don't even like know what it is, right? So G20 stands for a group of 20, right? It's a highly influential event happening every now and then, where 20 of the most influential people deciding for each currency of each country come together and talk about international problems and where we can help each other and how we can help others, right? And giving, basically giving their arguments, right, towards each other and seeing how we can solve issues that are currently here. Like Cody said, cryptocurrency regulation was one of them starting this year. You can see a pattern, right? Every beginning of every year, you can see a pattern in cryptocurrencies where the market dips and makes a big ass retracement and then goes up again. People say that's because of all these Japs, right? All the Japanese people taking profit for the holidays, something like that, and then coming back to invest again, and then it's going up, right? If that was the previous reason, the reason for this year for the drop that it did, right? It's more than 50% drop or retracement. It's because of regulation fears, right? Everybody entering cryptocurrencies like, yeah, I'm entering cryptocurrency because I don't have to pay tax. There's no regulation, and I'm free, and nobody can track me, and all these things, right? And now they want to track you, right? You said we're going cryptocurrencies because no country can say anything for this cryptocurrency to go down. It's totally not tangible for governments, right? And that's why it was so hyped. It was so good, right? Bitcoin, go into Bitcoin, all these things. So what happened? South Korea said, I am going to influence these markets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to post something that I want to try, but that's not even confirmed, right? I want to try to regulate the exchanges, not even the cryptocurrencies, the exchanges. And because of that statement, everybody panicked and sold their cryptocurrencies. And that's why we're at the place we are right now. I mean, people that are investing that don't know what they're doing, taking out their investments, right? And that's why it drops. Same happens for the stock exchange market. Same happens for Forex. If a lot of assets are taken out of something, the thing is going to drop in value because there's no value anymore, right? So right now, people are kind of, seeing, okay, kind of feeling the markets, the fundamentals, the technicals, and now they see that, okay, now is actually a good time to enter again because we're at a low point, right? We can possibly feel this soar to the upside. Okay, the whole problem, remember, regulations, right? Like Collier said. So G20 meetings, 20 of the most influential people coming together and discussing different issues, right? Amongst those issues, I want to name them for you. Number one was protectionism and free trade, especially between China and the US, right? You guys probably have heard of the steel and aluminum tariffs that Trump came with. Trump said that we're at trade war with China because China is screwing us the whole time. And we need to change that, blah, 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 better deals and make America great again, right? So that was one point. Stricter monitoring and regulation of cryptocurrency was one point. These are the agenda points of this meeting, okay, guys? It's not what happened. It's the agenda. And they talked about that. And in the stricter monitoring and regulation of cryptocurrency, the conclusion was that nobody's interested in regulation because they don't see it as a threat, like Colby just said, right? So I'm not going to touch on that point. I'm just mentioning the main points that happened today, right? Taxation of digital companies. What does that mean? Basically, taxation of Facebook, Amazon, Google, all these things. They have to pay taxes, right? These are digital companies, and they want to see what kind of tax they want to, tax those people. They're talking about a tax rate of 3%, right? 3% discussed potentially raising $6 billion annually in the EU, so in Europe. Okay, that's one of the points. Also, Venezuela. You guys probably know Venezuela, all the drama that's happening in Venezuela. They want a fund for Venezuelan refugees, right? And next to that, increased spending in infrastructure. Okay. So the fund for Venezuelan refugees and the spending in infrastructure, I'm gonna let Avion cover that. So now, real quick, just heading back to the protectionism and free trade. Okay. So Trump came with this, right? He's trying to raise a war between China and a trade war between China and the U.S., right? Because he wants better deals for his people, for America. The majority of all the people at the G20 meeting gave a lot of pressure towards the U.S. Representative right there, which is Stephen Mnuchin, something like that. So he's the U.S. Treasury Secretary, okay, the U.S. Treasury Secretary. Stephen Mnuchin is said to have received criticism and pressure from other representatives due to the planned tariffs, okay? So these tariffs can change, right? So we want to know how they're going to change and how they're going to affect the markets, and that's what we're going to find out in the next 24 hours, because there's another G20 meeting tomorrow, which is the last one, okay? So you see that not even countries that are not even affected by it are totally against it. They're basically pressuring the U.S. representative, basically the U.S. to not do it and to come with another deal, right? So that's going to basically affect markets again, because when Trump announced it, it affected the markets, and now that they're going to change it, it's going to affect the markets because we don't know what we're expecting yet, okay? If you want to do some deeper digging into steel and aluminum, you can do that. If you want us to do it for you, just leave a comment in the box below, and we'll do that for you in the next video. Now we're gonna go over, so the next point was regulation of cryptocurrency. Cody covered that. And now the taxation of digital companies, right? So at this moment, digital companies are not paying as much taxes as they should, okay? So what these guys wanna do is bring in these rules of taxation, okay? So if me and Adion live in Curacao, right? We live in Curacao. Our country is basically not in the G20 meetings because our country is like a little banana on the world, right? Colio lives in the US, right? US has millions, maybe billions, I don't know, of people living in the US. Okay, so lots of taxes, right? Colio has a business page on Facebook, and every now and then he boosts it with $15, right? These $15 go towards Facebook, and Facebook gets this $15 as profit for their business, right? On those profits, we need to pay taxes. I mean, damn, we do. It's too bad, but we have to pay taxes. These taxes are currently not as high as they should, based off what people are talking about in the G20 meetings. They want to tax these profits from digital companies more, which is going to lead to more money coming into the government or the nation. Okay, so if Facebook in America is going to tax more people in America for boosting their pages, for doing all the things that they're doing, America is going to get US dollars, right, in taxes, and which America can increase its budget because of more taxes. And if those budget, you want to know where the money is going to, it's going to probably go into the economy, it's going to go into infrastructure, it's going to go in the regulation of cryptocurrencies. We don't know, right? You want to know that in next things. But what is important now is that there's a chance that the U.S. can get a $6 billion increase in its annual budget, which is dollar positive. Okay. Next, the U.S. got the Eurozone. So the Eurozone is Germany, the Netherlands, France, all these guys. If they're going to tax digital companies, everybody's basically going to get an increase in budget, their annual budget, right? So the increase in money, they can do more and they can provide more to the economy. So that's basically the points that I'm going to touch on: the taxation of digital companies and the free trade war. So there were arguments on the trade war between the U.S. and China, and people are strongly against what the U.S. has on paper right now. Okay, so with this, I'm going to pass it over to Adion, and he's going to talk about Venezuelan refugees, so the fund they want to build, and the increased spending in infrastructure. Adion, you have the floor.